Welcome everyone to another episode of the Futlife TV podcast. We are back to cover all the crazy transfers this summer and everything that we think is going to happen this season. Shaheen's back with us, and let's get right into it. Starting with the Premier League, of course. A lot of stuff going on in the Premier League. Big transfers in and out. Start with Manchester United. I think Manchester United, they just secured the Harry Maguire signature, $85 million. Which in today's market, I mean, that's pretty much normal prices. It's ridiculous.
That's the average, I would say. Yeah.
For especially, see, the thing is, defenders weren't really worth as much until now.
Right.
Now people are starting to realize how important a defender is. I mean, see, thing is, like with Liverpool, right? They have forwards. They spent $70 million on Van Dijk, and everyone was like, for a defender, you're out of your mind. But here's the thing. They have the forwards secured. They have forwards covered, right? Mm-hmm. They don't need an attacker. They don't need a goal scorer. They have enough of that. Mm-hmm. They needed what they needed the most. What was the most important thing for them was a defender. So to spend that much money on something that they needed the most, it's not really that surprising, given the fact that a lot of goal scorers and strikers go for that price. I mean, they needed a defender the most, and it paid off. Look at they won. Hopefully Man United will have the similar effect with Harry Maguire. But $85 million is a hefty price tag. But Leicester City just didn't have to let him go. They weren't interested. Manchester United has been after him for quite some time now. So what do you think?
I think it's good business for Man U for sure. Also for Leicester, because I mean at this point in the past the past 3 seasons after they won the Premier League, they've kind of slowly lost all their key talent that got them there, Mahrez and several other players.
And unfortunately, their owner last season, tragedy.
Yeah. Conte, going to Chelsea, and I mean, I think all they have left from that really good class is Vardy. I think he's the only one that's left over there.
That's true.
But
it is good business. It's good business on both ends. I think Manchester United are desperate for a defender, and Leicester City made good money from selling their defender.
For sure.
And I mean, let's be honest. Maybe in the top 6 to have a chance, but Leicester City's not going to win the Premier League again. For a very long time. Right now, the Premier League, the two top teams, in my opinion, are too stacked and too strong to for not trying to say Leicester City is a weaker team, but for a team that's not those teams to come win the Premier League now,
Right.
So I don't know. I think Man City and Liverpool are too strong right now, and I mean, Manchester United could be shaping up as well. Now they have a defender. They have good forwards. They have Rashford, who is a great center striker, in my opinion. I honestly, if I was Manchester United, this is what I would want to see. I would want to see a fit Alexis Sanchez, Martial, and Rashford, the front three. 2 guys with speed and skills to drill down those sides, and Rashford to be in the center finishing.
But I think at this point, Solskjaer is going to go for Lingard versus Alexis Sanchez, I think, for starting, because Lingard is, Sanchez kind of helped himself out in the Copa America.
Yeah, he did. He was in good form.
He did. He was in good form. So I think that kind of maybe was a good signal to the coach that he still got it, and maybe that'll be the confidence boost he needs. Maybe he needed some time to go back to his national team and kind of go back to that and do well, and he did, and that team did. So maybe that might, I don't know.
He did pick up an injury, but apparently he's fit now. So
yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I think with Alexis Sanchez, I think he's battling a lot of issues with confidence, and I think Jose Mourinho was misusing those players as well. The way the positions they were playing, they were a really defensive team. I mean, a lot of times you see Alexis Sanchez playing left back, how doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? And I mean, who knows what else is going on? I don't think he speaks the language very well. I don't think he's really too comfortable in England. I think he doesn't have very much friends. He doesn't have that many friends there. So all those things I think play a little part. But hopefully, I'm a big fan of his. I think he's a world class player. I think he has everything you want in a winger. He has the speed. He has the technique. He can cross the ball in. He can score. I think he really is a world class player. last season, it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see that. But I think this season, like you said, given the Copa factor, that he was playing good in the Copa before he has picked up the injury, I think that that probably gave him a little bit more confidence, and we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully this season he can pick it back up and show his true form. I think he's a fantastic player. I just think he was going through a little bad time, you know?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, this season, it wasn't going too well for him. I mean, I know, like, under Mourinho, it wasn't going so well. I think Solskjaer, like, given that he's like a former striker himself, I think when he stepped in initially, he really helped like the forwards regain some confidence. And so, like, I think Sanchez like kind of did a little well at one point, but it still didn't work out well for him. So I think doing the Copa America, doing well, will kind of re-energize him and kind of like give like a boost to his confidence again. So I think we'll see. Hopefully he'll like play a better role this season.
Yeah, I think so. I think he will. I honestly think he will, because I mean, this is it. This is his chance. This is his last chance.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, they're gonna try to if they don't get rid of him this summer, which I don't think they will. He has a pretty big wage demand, so I don't think they're gonna get rid of him. But they will try to get rid of him by January, I think, if he keeps up the form that he has had for Manchester United.
For sure.
But I honestly think he'll change things. He'll turn things around.
Okay.
He's a great player. But anyways, another forward that's in doubt, we didn't mention him, is Lukaku. You know, he might not even be there next season.
Yeah, I think. I think the transfer for England, I think the market closes in about 4 days. I think they close on the 8th.
Yeah, about
August 8th.
Yep.
So they have to. So in the next 4 days, we'll definitely see a lot happen. I'm curious to see what will happen to him and Pogba, because like those are the two big, rumors right now for those guys.
Well,
so.
Lukaku hasn't necessarily came out and said he wants to leave. He hasn't came out and said he wants a new challenge like Pogba has. But the thing is, with Lukaku, Man United paid too much for him. You know, so he has a lot more value to them than than his talent, basically, in my opinion. You know, I think if they didn't spend that as much money, they would have got rid of him a lot faster. Sold him to Inter already, got the money, but they spent about $79 million on him.
Oh wow, okay.
You know, so they want to get some of that money back. You know, but the thing is, it's tough because Inter doesn't have. I don't think Inter is able to spend 80-something million and get the wages and still buy other players, because Conte is a new coach and he's trying to. We'll get to that in a minute, but Conte is trying to rebuild his team and bring them back up. But 80 million, which is the price that Manchester United is asking, is 80 million or a swap deal for two players that they can really use. You know. But the thing is, in my opinion, I don't think Lukaku is that important to Manchester United. I think he can easily go, and Rashford can easily fill in his shoes. You know, I think Rashford is still young. I think he's more talented than Lukaku. I think he's better on the ball. He has a better touch than Lukaku. You know, but Lukaku has more experience. That's the only thing about him. But I don't think he's worth the money. But I don't think Manchester United necessarily think he's that big of a player for them. They have to keep him. They just want to make that money back that they spend on him. You know? And I mean, he did score a good amount of goals and everything, but they're not. I don't see him being a player that can change Manchester United's title run or Champions League campaign. You know what I mean? So I don't think that he's an important player for them to keep, but it is important for them to recoup that money.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money they spent on Lukaku. And I think that's where the issue is right now. They're negotiating to be able to get their, deal. There's rumors that Inter was really trying to go after him. Conte came out and expressed, that he did want him. He does like him. But it's just the price tag is too much. And I'm sure the wages will be high as well. And another thing is, Juventus apparently came out and was interested in getting Lukaku. And they even put in a bid to swap Dybala and Mandzukic. And apparently Dybala didn't want to go, but Mandzukic is all for it.
I also read that one of the reasons for Dybala's breakdown is because the wage demands. I heard Dybala he wanted like 350,000 euros like a week or something like that.
Yeah,
I mean that's like. That's incredible. Like that's something kind of incredible to ask, especially when you're like
not for Manchester United. You see the wages they're giving out to these people nowadays.
No, I know, but like
You
for
know?
the player, like Dybala, like given, I mean, he like even last season he didn't play particularly.
But
like,
here's the
well,
thing, though.
you know, so
If you're Dybala and you think it's possible for them to give you that wage that you're demanding, the $350,000 a week, because it's very possible for Manchester United to say, okay, we'll pay you that. You know, why not go for it? You know, then they'll negotiate. Maybe they'll end at 290 or 300. You know what I mean? But I don't think Dybala is really excited about the Manchester United project and the fact that they're not even in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, are they even in the Europa League?
they finished 6th, right?
Did they?
Last season?
Let's see if they're in the Europa League. Well, besides the point, Champions League is what these big players are going after.
Yeah.
You know, and right now he can play in Champions League some games at least with Juventus. You know, so it's like for him, for a lot of players. I mean, see, the thing is, Manchester United doesn't have the name they used to. You know, when you said Manchester United, people were honored to go there. Now it's like, oh man, like they haven't won the league in how many years? You know, they haven't won the Champions League in how many years? The biggest trophy really they've won was the Europa under Mourinho,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know. It's tough for them to bring in players. So it's understandable. It's when players demand high wages to go there. You know, it's like you're not offering me Champions League play. You're not offering me like we're gonna be competing in the league. Manchester United, Manchester City, and Liverpool are too strong right now.
Way too strong.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't think Manchester United has any chance to go toe to toe with those guys. Those two teams are on fire. You know, they're a stacked defensive midfield and forwards. You know what I mean?
I think like kind of going to another team, Arsenal, with their recent buy of Pepe.
Yeah, we'll
that
get
is
to
going to
that
be.
next, yeah.
I looked at some highlights of him, and he looks.
He's a great
really
player, man.
Good. He looks
is.
really good.
Yeah.
With him, Aubameyang, Lacazette,
Yeah.
and that the midfield that they have, I think they're still looking at this defender, Tierney.
That's what they need because I mean their
Yeah.
captain wants out.
Stanley, yeah, he
Their
wants
captain
to,
wants out.
But what I'm trying to say is like Arsenal is actually looking better than Man U, so I don't even think like I
See,
think Arsenal could be playing for a top 3.
I would have agreed with you there if it wasn't for the Harry Maguire signing. I think Arsenal are trash in defense.
Right.
I think their defense is trash. I think, and here's the thing: in the Premier League, a lot of those teams have good forwards. If your defense is trash, you're going to suffer. You know, and I think that's what's going to hold Arsenal back. And Manchester United realize that. That's why they're like, we will spend 80, whatever you're asking. We need defenders.
Yeah.
Their defenders are trash right now. Who's their defenders? What was it? Phil Jones, Smalling, and I forgot the other one.
Matic? Is
McCarthy or some shit like that. But anyways, they're not good enough. You know what I mean? They're not good enough to compete in the Champions League. They're not good enough to compete in the Premier League. They're just not good enough. So that was a smart move for them. That's why I think they will do better than Arsenal. But Arsenal's front three is absolutely dangerous now. But anyways, before we move on to Arsenal, let's talk about one more thing about Manchester United. Pogba. Pogba has made it very clear he wants out. He wants the Real Madrid move. He wants to go. His agent has came out numerous times and said he wants to go. Everyone knows he wants to go. They've tried making him captain. They've tried giving him offers. They've tried everything. He wants to go. So would you keep him?
No, I mean like if he's not that if he's like mentally if he's not that committed, then it's better to sell him. I think even I mean even Zlatan even came out and said like no, you should just let him leave. Like you know, I mean
if he wants to go, let him go.
If he really wants to go that bad, if a player is not mentally committed to your team, it's like okay. If a player, especially of that caliber, is not willing to, like mentally, like be part of the team, like commit to the team, it's gonna make a huge difference. You'll see it on the field. And
Exactly.
So you just don't want that.
And the thing is, to make this guy your captain, you know, it can backfire because he can easily turn that dressing room against everyone. You know what I mean? It can all go wrong. It can all go wrong. And I don't know. That's a tough one. I think if you get the offer that they're asking 150 million, apparently for Pogba. So if they do get the 150 million, let them go. You can definitely get more defensive midfielders and attacking midfield, whatever midfielders. Period. for that price. You know, I don't think like Pogba did. His stats show good last season, but I don't think he's not the leader that they want. You know, especially when he's not comfortable on the team. You see him with France; he enjoys playing there. He tries to be the leader, and Man United is not like that. He just seems like he's just not feeling it. He's just not there. His mind is not there. His mind is in Madrid. You know, I think he wants to go, especially now with Hazard leaving. He's desperate to leave, and he's came out and said, "I want a new challenge." Well, wait a minute, Pogba. What do you mean you want a new challenge? You haven't passed this one yet. You know, you failed this challenge, so you want to go to your next one already? You failed. He hasn't achieved anything at Manchester United.
When you said
the
Hazard
Europa League, and those type of things don't matter, you know? You just spend $100 million on you to come make a difference. What difference has he made besides getting a coach fired and throwing the locker room apart? You know?
When you said Hazard leaving, you mean like he wants to follow Hazard to Madrid?
I think he's seeing the Madrid project and he's getting a little excited about it, especially with Hazard, because I think he's a fan of Hazard's too.
Oh,
he knows the talent, yeah. And him and Hazard have a good relationship. So I think it's him seeing the turnaround and them spending money, bringing in new players, and working under Zidane, and of course the name Madrid, Real Madrid, he wants to go, you know? But the thing is, it's like, you have to understand at the end of the day, man, this team spent $100 million on you to bring you over, you know? They're giving you a ton of money and wages, you know? They expect a certain thing from you. I don't think he's delivered. And I know what people are going to say, look at the stats, he's got this and that. I don't care about his stats. His stats mean nothing to me. You know? His stats mean nothing to me. His achievement was nothing there. His challenge that he wants a new one, I don't see why he wants a new one. You failed the one that you're currently in. You're failing the challenge you're currently in. So how can you look for a new challenge when you didn't even pass this challenge yet? You know? He hasn't. He hasn't made the players around him better. He hasn't contributed as much as he should to the team. He's not a captain that wants to stay on the team, you know? This is a guy that spent $100 million on. They invested heavily in him to be that leader, to be that difference maker, to be that box-to-box player that he was at Juventus. You know? He hasn't delivered.
Yeah. I mean, I think what he's probably been seeing is like the project that he was a part of at the beginning. He had a certain expectation, and since that expectation hasn't been met, it's like he's kind of like, well, I don't know if I want to be part of this.
I disagree with that. You know where I think things went sour? Is when Alexis Sanchez signed for that much money. He started demanding as much money. You know? And they weren't giving him that wages.
Who? Pogba?
Pogba wanted the same amount of money as Alexis. And United wasn't willing to give him that much money. And everything went sour after that. That's what I think relationships started falling apart, and his ego and his manager and the people around him started getting in his ear. But nowadays it's different than it used to be, you know? Now you have social media, you have your shady agents, you know, because they see the money that can be made, and it's just, I don't know, and it's just too much with Pogba. I think United should let him go. I think they shouldn't let him go for under $100 million though, you know? If Madrid comes with $100+ million, you know, then fine, take him. Or at least if you can sell him to a team, trade him for a team that can give you some good midfielders back, you know, then get rid of him, because players like that are poison to the squad and the dressing room, you know. And I think eventually it'll catch up. Eventually, once you get rid of enough coaches, you're gonna start looking at the players. You know what I mean?
I think so. Yeah, I think as far as like where he would move, I don't think it'll be Madrid at this point, because Madrid haven't been able to get rid of Bale, and Pogba is a bit of money. You know, if they're not going to if they can't get rid of Bale,
we'll get to that when we get to La Liga. But Bale, they definitely did try to do a swap deal with Bale and Pogba.
Yeah,
you know. But the thing is, Manchester United right now are desperately need players that can make a big difference. You know. And Bale, given his fitness and his track record of injuries, I don't think he's that player. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's not going to be able to be there the whole season, especially during big games. He's a liability. You know, almost a liability. Well, he's a liability because of his wages as well. You know, he's getting $600,000 a week now.
Mm-hmm.
He wants the same amount anywhere he goes, and they would still have to pay Real Madrid a hefty price.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make too much sense. And for Man United, it's like, man, to be honest, I think we might need Pogba more than Bale, because we can use Pogba in more games than we can use Bale.
At this point, yeah.
You know. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Pogba is it's a pretty messy situation, and I think they should just part ways. I think they should, if they can get the money that they want out of him, they should let him go, because that's poison in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for Man United. You know.
I think it's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much the gist. I think Lukaku and Pogba, they're the big rumors right now.
Yeah.
If they're gonna go. So these next 4 days are gonna be really interesting
Yeah.
to see. Yeah.
But I think Manchester United. I hope Manchester United does get it together and they get back to the Manchester United they were, because that club, that team, with the history, the name, it's just sad to see the way it's been turning out.
I think it's a cycle. I mean, as you see, like Man U is like the new the new Liverpool. Like Liverpool, they had a good run and then
Fell apart.
Yeah, fell apart.
Yeah.
And then now they were in a rebuilding season for a while, and then now with Klopp and
But Manchester United spends a lot more money than Liverpool did during those times, you know?
but they spent smart. We never. I mean, at that point, we never heard of like Firmino. We heard of Salah, but he came from like Roma.
Suarez, Salah, Firmino, Mane, all these guys are pretty damn cheap, you know? But anyways, yeah, hopefully Man United can get it together and we can see an exciting Man United this season, you know? Without having Champions League, they can focus on the league more. Maybe that'll be a help for them. You know, that'll be a little plus. But anyways, the big name that was leaving again, Pogba wants to out. Another big name that's already left to Madrid, Hazard from Chelsea. 100 and something million for a player that can leave for free next summer.
Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't the best like business deal, but I think
Seems pretty desperate.
yeah, it was from something you had told me. It's kind of an interesting perspective. It was like Zidane and said so much how much he admires Hazard and how much he wants Hazard, and so
Yeah.
I think Chelsea knowing that, I think they were able to
Absolutely.
demand a certain amount of transfer
Absolutely.
fee.
And not only that, they saw Madrid at a desperate point.
Yeah.
Like, this is a struggling Madrid that will probably pay anything to bring some top players. You know? And I think part of that was Zidane's plan as well. Like, hey, I'm not coming back unless you bring these players, you know? But Hazard leaving, he's made it very clear. He's never hit the fact that he wants to move to Madrid. You know? He's always said, yeah, Madrid. He's never denied it. He has never denied it. He has given Chelsea everything, but he has never denied the fact that he wants out and he wants to go to Madrid. You know? So, I mean, here's the thing. Chelsea fans are hurt. I think I was even a little hurt. I really enjoy him at Chelsea. But at the end of the day, he deserves this Madrid move.
Yeah.
You know, this was his goal. This was his dream. And he's given everything to Chelsea club. You know? And there's a lot of times where, I mean, how many seasons now he's been the best player on that team?
Yeah.
You know? How many seasons now he's been the best player, in my opinion, in the Premier League? You know? This is a world-class player. I'm surprised that this guy has not left sooner. I thought Barcelona was going to swoop him up after Neymar. I have no idea how this guy has been overlooked for this long. You know? But
I think he was holding out for that move. I think he was holding out for the Madrid move, and I think at that time,
I don't know how Madrid didn't go after him before. You know, they keep buying all these other players. But it's like, man, this guy keeps dropping hints like his dream move is Madrid. I don't know how, but I mean, he's a Madrid player now, but it doesn't matter. So, yeah.
Pretty excited about that, not gonna lie. Preseason hasn't been good so far to us, but just give him some time.
Well, I mean, here's the thing where I think, we'll get to Madrid's struggles, but Hazard's move, I think he's earned it. I think that's his dream move. I think he deserves it, and I wish him the best. You know, he's a fantastic player. He really is a game changer as well. You know, he's saved Chelsea so many times. He's the reason why Chelsea are this as successful as they have been, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, he's been the best player in the Premier League for many years now.
For sure.
You know?
I think they're going to definitely miss him this upcoming season due to the fact also that they are transfer banned for the next 12 months. 12 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Even when they did the appeal, when you do the appeal, they give you during that time, you're allowed to sign players. They just shut it down. They just shut it down multiple times. So it looks pretty bad for Chelsea right now.
But that Pulisic deal was a great deal, like right before.
Good timing.
Yeah, it was a good timing. Yeah.
But I don't think he's able to replace Hazard right now. Anyways, he's still young. He's still developing. He has a promising future. But Chelsea needs someone now, especially with the fact. Here's a big thing with Chelsea: no damn strikers. They have no strikers. You know, their only striker right now is Giroud.
Yeah.
You know, nothing against Giroud. Great player. Past his time. You know, he's not a difference maker. He's not going to win Chelsea a league title. He's not going to score 20-plus goals for Chelsea in the season. You know what I mean? He's not a player you're like, man, we really need a goal. Something like, here we go. Giroud, come on. You know what I mean? He's not a difference maker. He's a great player. Some games he will be a difference maker, but he's not consistent enough. He's older too, man. You know, what can you demand from this guy? For him to be your star striker and to get you the league or whatever you're after is almost impossible. You know, and now you've lost your best player. That was the reason you're doing that. Give his number 10 to Willian. Willian's not going to fill those shoes.
Yeah.
You know, Willian's a great player. He's not a Hazard. You know, it's not going to happen.
And then what's the kid's name that they he's a young guy. They just gave him a long-term deal, like for 5 years. Chelsea.
Obi or something like that. Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, what was his name? It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. What was his name? What's his name? Anyways, yeah, they did give him and Loftus-Cheek a long-term contract. But those guys aren't ready as well. I mean, I don't think those guys are ready either, you know, to deliver a Premier League. And here's the thing. Here's the bigger issue. You have a coach that's just basically starting. You know, it's a hit and miss with Lampard right now. I mean, the guy needs more time.
Yeah.
You can't expect him to come in here and win you the Premier League with this situation under the circumstances. You know, It's asking him way too much. But I don't know. Hopefully Chelsea can figure it out. But
Hudson-Odoi, that's his name. Hudson-Odoi, yeah.
Odoi, yeah, that's what it is, yeah. I don't know where I got Obi from. Well, anyways.
Oh, and they have Pedro. I forgot about Pedro.
Oh, Pedro as well. He's good too.
Pedro, yeah.
Yeah, he scored a very good goal in one of the games in the preseason. Very beautiful goal.
Yeah. So they still have like a little bit of structure
Top six chance. Yeah. No chance to win the Premier League.
No.
You know,
maybe,
zero chance.
Maybe FA Cup, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
you know, but maybe top 6. Maybe they can make top 6. You know, maybe even top 4 Champions League play. You know, maybe as far as stretch, but maybe. You know, they might. But top 6 maybe. But if they don't, you can't be upset and blame anyone.
Yeah,
look at the situation.
Yeah. This is definitely going to be a transition season.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Liverpool and Man City in the Community Shield. That was a fun game. 1-1.
It was a pretty decent game. Yeah, it was a pretty decent game.
But man,
you could kind of see the fatigue a little bit, just because like seeing the game, both halves they had like a good 15, maybe 20 minutes where there wasn't a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
It was kind of sloppy in some areas. You could definitely tell it was like, okay, the players are still in a little bit of preseason mode.
Exactly.
They're not quite ready for that league, even though the league is like what, next weekend?
Yeah,
so,
I think it's like next week.
Next week. So,
but I mean, those two guys are the favorites to win the league.
Yeah, definitely.
Pep winning the 3rd season in a row, that would be amazing.
That would be pretty amazing. But even though like for England, I'm a Man City fan, I think it'll be Liverpool this time.
Yeah, they could. I mean,
sorry.
They're way more stacked right now. They're defensive. They're midfield. They're forwards. They have fantastic players. They have everything you need to win this game. They could improve a little bit in midfield, but they still have a great team, you know? And Van Dijk, the way he's been playing and performing, he's a difference maker back there, you know? Big difference maker. Alisson as well. Alisson is another key factor. I think Liverpool are going to give Man City a run for their money this season.
For sure,
you know? I don't disagree with you. I think they have a very good chance of winning. Man City are just too tough.
They're really good. They're really consistent. I think Pep got exactly what he wanted in every position. I actually heard that before the Maguire deal for Man U, Pep actually came out and said that they were going for him, but they couldn't afford him.
Yeah, they were
Man City couldn't afford it. I was like, what? What?
Well, here's the thing with Pep. I think he spends carefully. I think if he sees a price tag that's that high, he'll go for another player that he prefers for those price tags. Then, I don't think really Harry Maguire was a top target for Man City. They were just like, oh, you are willing to sell? Here's our offer. And here's your offer for you. But I think Harry Maguire and Leicester City both prefer to go Manchester United's direction. But Man City, I mean, they're not doing too bad in defensive. They have Laporte, they have Stones, they have Argentinian Otamendi. They're not doing that bad in defensive wise, and they have pretty good midfielders as well, which they are coming up to age. They're getting older. And they have good forwards. They have good scorers. I mean, the fast, young kids that are running. Aguero, who's a goal scorer. Man City is tough as well. Man City and Liverpool, I mean, it's hard to see anyone but those two winning the Premier League this season.
At least for the next probably like 2-3 years.
I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Man City will start going down before Liverpool because most of the players on that team are older. The key players, the midfielders, Sergio Aguero, wherein Mane, Firmino, Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, those guys are young. All those guys are young. And Liverpool just signed Henderson long term as well, right?
Yeah, they just gave him a new deal, so he's going to be there long term. Yeah. I'm curious what they'll do with James Milner.
I think they like him, especially in the. Klopp's a big fan of his, and I think especially in the locker room.
He was key this past season.
And I think in the locker room more than anything as well. Yeah. So I think that the Milner, he'll stay at least for this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Liverpool and Man City are the two favorites to, and Liverpool have signed already a couple of youngsters as well. So we'll see. It'll be an exciting season to see this season in the Premier League. But I think Man City and Liverpool again are favorites to win it.
Man City, Liverpool, yeah. I agree. Yeah. Who do you think the dark horse is for this upcoming season?
Wolves.
I agree. They made it to Europa League this season.
Was it Europe or one of the?
I think it's
England Cups.
No. They I think.
No, they are in the Europa League this season.
Wolves,
they are in the Europa League. I thought you meant last season.
This season, okay. They got promoted.
Because last season they were in a final against Man City or something.
I think for one of those clubs, I think it was like Carling or like.
Yeah, Wolves. Yeah. Wolves look good, man. The coach. I'm a fan of the coach. He was in Spain before he made his move there as well, and I think he was doing great in Spain as well. I'm a fan of the coach, and they have great players. They have some young talent. They have
João Moutinho.
Yeah, they have good players. I think Wolves can surprise people.
Yeah. I think they're gonna. Yeah, I agree. I think they'll. I almost want to say they'll qualify for Champions League. I think they might kind of.
That would be very interesting if they do. And good for them, man. They have good players,
We need to see more of that. I want to see more of like some of those teams kind of come up and just surprise people. Like I really loved how several seasons ago Leicester City came out of nowhere.
That was
had
beautiful.
A Cinderella story and won the Premier League. Although it kind of they kind of went downhill from there. It was to be expected. I mean, it's like when a team like that does so well, it's like all the big teams are like, oh, nice. Well, we want him, and then we want him, and then we want him, and then it's just like, well,
And the top teams end up spending a lot of money and getting their key players that they needed too. All right. I mean, I think that's pretty much it for the Premier League. Can't wait for that to start. That's going to be an interesting one.
Tottenham. Did Tottenham do? I'm trying to think.
They made one signing finally. I think after how many years? Tottenham, you got to give them credit though, man. For a team that makes no signings, and how many years now? They have been consistent. Champions League play, Champions League final. You have to give Tottenham credit. They have really turned things around. They have surpassed Arsenal for sure. Arsenal used to be the Tottenham of England, but now It's Tottenham. Tottenham are, you have to give them credit for their situation, for their circumstances. I mean, haven't signed any players, and they're still sitting there fighting, for that title and Champions League spot.
They did get one guy. I think he's a France international.
Yeah, they finally made a signing this summer.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll be good for them. I mean, they still kept pretty much everybody. The only person they got rid of was Trippier. Right?
Yeah, he went to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
And another person that might leave is Eriksen.
Yeah. So
Eriksen has been a target for Real Madrid, and that's the move that he really wants to go. He wants to go to Madrid, but I think Madrid are looking at other options before him.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's an interesting one to see if they're going to be able to keep him or not. And one more person that I've really been impressed with for Tottenham is Lucas. I was a big fan of Lucas even at PSG. I was disappointed that he didn't go to the World Cup with Brazil a few World Cups back.
Mm-hmm.
I really think the guy he has a lot of talent. And at Tottenham, he's playing, he's really showing it now. Mm-hmm. He's playing great. I mean, he's the reason. I was pissed off about this, but he's the reason why they were in the final. He's the one that brought them back against Ajax.
Mm-hmm.
He's the reason why they're there. And that's not what I was pissed off about. What I was pissed off about is you sit him on the bench for the final.
That was weird. Yeah, that was really weird.
For a guy that has been out for so long.
Yeah.
That
was a really bad move. Yeah.
I could not believe Pochettino did that. I was shocked. This guy is on fire. He's been scoring left and right. He's been consistent lately. He is in the form of his life. He's enjoying his game. He takes you to the final. He's the single reason why you're in the final. And you're like, oh, thank you, Lucas. Here's your thank you. Sit out.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I'm surprised he stayed.
That was
really
terrible.
Yeah,
that was disgraceful. I couldn't believe that by Pochettino. That was sick, honestly.
Yeah.
But I've really been impressed with Lucas. But anyways, anything else you think in the Premier League?
No, I think that's it.
Yep. All right, let's move on to La Liga in Spain. La Liga. Start with Madrid.
Which one?
I've signed Real Madrid.
Okay.
I was going to say Madrid. They've signed a lot of players, and then I thought about it. Both Madrid teams have signed a lot of players. Both Madrid teams are going through a big transition.
Yes, but I think Atletico's been kind of getting the better end in the sense of they've had in and outs. But
they have a better
Madrid
coach.
Are getting some ins, but they're not getting enough.
Atletico
outs.
Madrid has a better coach.
Relax, dude.
They have a better coach. I've always thought Zidane was overrated. I think he was very lucky to win 3 Champions League back to back. There's a lot of things I can point out in those runs. But I think
envy is ugly. Relax.
No, it's not that.
Relax.
But I just don't see anything special from Zidane. I don't see a system that's like, oh man, this guy's system is pretty good. He didn't do anything but rotate players, And they had a lot of help from referees, and they're pretty fortunate on some of the games. There's a lot of factors that played in them winning those 3 back-to-back Champions Leagues. I don't think Zidane is a world-class coach to be able to turn this Madrid team around. I think that he spent a lot of money so far, and he's trying to spend a lot more, and he wouldn't have came back unless they agreed to sign the players that he's wanted. He's signed multiple players, including one of the most talented players in the world, Eden Hazard.
Mm-hmm.
Which that was a huge signing for him. But in order to come back, he demanded these players. But the thing is, I honestly don't see a certain system. Like what system does he have that's like, oh man, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had Ronaldo, who's a big difference maker in that team. And I think he was smart with a lot of his rotations.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there was a lot of help in those Champions League runs. I think he was very fortunate to get what he did, and it's going to be tough for him. It's going to be very tough for him,
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I expect a tough. I expect a tough beginning to the season. I think once the players settle a bit, and I think once a few more things get finalized as far as transfers, maybe one. I think they'll probably try to get one more in.
Yeah.
Either Donny van de Beek. It was actually on ESPN that said that
he's admitted himself that they're negotiating with Ajax.
So. Yeah. So even somebody dared to say, like, yeah, how do you feel about being the runner-up next to Pogba? Like, because, like, they didn't get Pogba. And so he was like,
That's just how it goes.
That's just how it goes. That's fine. That's fine if they want to.
That's how it is.
Yeah, that's how it is.
You know?
And then so it's like between them, it was like Eriksen, Pogba, or Van de Beek. And so it's looking like Van de Beek now.
Yeah.
Which would be great because he's 22 years old.
Great player.
He was a huge difference maker for Ajax.
Exciting.
Ajax, the Eredivisie, they already started and they tied 2-2. Ajax did, and Van de Beek scored one and he assisted the other. So
he's a great player. I think those youngsters at Ajax, those are players that are going to be getting sold this summer and next summer.
They're going to be the Leicester City.
You know?
It's like everybody's going, oh, Van de Beek, delete and
Yeah, but Real Madrid are really trying to buy a lot of players to come back to the top. You know, and I think Zidane realizes what he needs to do.
We need to buy Messi's son. We need to buy Messi's son.
Or Ronaldo's son. Ronaldo's son's doing pretty well.
No, Ronaldo's son can stay. And
I like where you're going with that, though. That's true. You're right. It's like father, like son.
It's okay.
Right?
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
But anyways, I think Real Madrid, I think they're going to have a tough season. I think they're going to have to make a lot of changes. All these new players that are coming in, they're going to have to fit this team. They're going to have to get things together quick because the season's about to start. And judging by their preseason, other teams are way ahead of them in their preparation for the season. Mm-hmm. You know? And if they do have a terrible start of the season, that can kill their season off. You know? Because Atletico Madrid's looking very good.
Yeah.
And Barcelona have gotten some recruitments, and they're still after more players. The president even said they just signed a left back as well.
From Betis.
Yeah, and the president came out and said this is not our last signing. There's going to be more signings.
It will be their last signing.
No, Neymar, and there's a lot of things about Neymar moving there as well. You know, so Madrid really does have to get their things together quick and get these players in shape, fit, and on the same page in order to fight against these teams. Mm-hmm. You know, especially in La Liga. You know, Champions League is a different story. They'll eventually, once they get it together, they can compete in the Champions League, I think. But La Liga, in order to win La Liga, they have to start from the beginning. Mm-hmm. You know, but I honestly don't think they're going to win La Liga. I think Barcelona as favorites and Atletico Madrid are second favorites, in my opinion, to win La Liga. But, that's pretty much it with Real Madrid. Anything else you think?
I mean, Gareth Bale is kind of a little bit of an issue right now. Yeah.
Geez.
Yeah, the whole, I heard about the whole golf thing. I actually didn't read too much about it, but I just, kind of...
Well, he said it a long time ago. He said, hey, in the beginning of the summer, he said, hey, that's fine. Because Zidane's came out several times now and said, I want him gone. I want him gone. We need him gone. We want him to go. Which is a pathetic thing for a coach to come out and do and say. You know? Because all you're doing is making him less valuable. Mm-hmm. You know? By you coming out and saying, I'm desperate to get rid of this guy. I want him out. I don't give a damn if it's free, basically. You know? Mm-hmm. Other teams are like, why are we going to pay $100 million for him?
Yeah.
Why would we do that? They want him out big time. You know? Mm-hmm. You never show your hand. And that's something I've been really disgusted by Zidane recently. I understand the coach. He has the mindset of what he wants done this season, of who he wants and all this. But you don't come out and say it in public. You don't come out and say, yeah, hopefully we're working on a deal to get rid of him. Hopefully he leaves. It's best for all of us. We want him out. Come out and saying, I don't care if I have 4 more subs, Bale would still not come on the pitch. You know, come out and saying, I just didn't want to play him. I don't see him for my team. He's not going to play. You know, these things make you look small. You know, and I don't know why no one in the background, no one back there in Madrid who's been there with more experience is not saying, hey, shut the hell up. Shut up. You know, shut your mouth. You don't like him? Cool. Shut your mouth. Let us do our transfer business in the background. Mm-hmm. Let us try to get rid of him then. Don't come out every week and just be like, I want him gone. I want him gone. Who? Any takers? Any takers, please. Bids, anyone. Makes you look desperate. Makes you look stupid. Mm-hmm. And as a big name like Zidane, for him to come out and just trash him like this all the time, it just makes him look pathetic, in my opinion. And I think it's a stupid, disgusting move by him. You know, whatever you want to do, don't air out your dirty laundry. Shut your mouth. You want him gone, tell him you want him gone, and get rid of him behind the doors. You know? Mm-hmm. Don't come out in every interview like, I don't want him, I don't like him. It's not personal. It seems pretty damn personal to me. When you come out every week trashing the guy, you know, that's pretty personal. If it's not personal, you tell the president, I want him gone, get rid of him. Mm-hmm. You know? It's done. They're going to try to get rid of him. When you constantly come out and trash the guy, that means it's personal. Don't say it's not personal. You know? And those type of things, I think, because given the fact he probably hasn't been a coach for that long, he hasn't had the experience, but it's like someone back there has to come out and be like, hey, shut up, like, stop, we're working on a deal already. Like, they don't even want to pay a transfer fee because of you, you know? So it's
tough.
It's a stupid thing for Zidane to do. And for Bale, I mean, look, man, he's 30 years old, right? He's making $600,000 a week, right? That move to China will still be there in a few years. I hear everyone talking about he can still make that money if he goes to another team. He can make that money in 6 years or 5 years. Why? He doesn't want to. You know? He's played at top level for a very long time. He doesn't want to. He wants to make money now. Who are you to judge him? Let him make his money. The Real Madrid gave him a new contract. They extended his contract. You know? What was it, last summer? Right?
Was it last summer?
I think it was after the Champions League win. I think they extended his contract. They upped the price on his wages. They're the ones that did that. And now it's like, we don't want you to go. He has every right to say if he doesn't want to, I don't want to go. You know, you don't want to play me? Fine. I'll sit and play golf. You have great golf courses out here. I love the weather. There's a beach. We love it here. You're paying me $600,000 a week. You have to pay me next 3 years. I don't have to go. Why should I go? You know? Obviously, it's not important for him to have playing time. You know, that's not his priority now. You know? So it's like, hey, fair play. You know, do your thing, man. That's what you want. Fine. You signed the contract. They signed the contract. You guys have a contract. If you don't want to go, you don't have to. Stay there, play golf. If that's what's important to you, if not getting 90 minutes plus every game is important to you, then go with what's important to you. Who am I to judge? You know? There's a lot of people that will kill to go elsewhere to get playing time. Bale doesn't want that. He's like, hey, man, I already won a bunch of trophies. You know? I'm getting paid a lot of money. I'm playing for Real Madrid. You know? And let's be honest here. If he leaves somewhere else and he's not that successful, his endorsement deals are going to go down. He's not going to get the same endorsement deals and the same high, offers as he would playing for Real Madrid. Real Madrid is a team of, they have prestige. Their name is huge. That's, So it's like, hey, I understand why he doesn't want to go. Dude, in 3 years, he can still go to China. Why couldn't he? So, I mean, that's a tricky situation. But if he doesn't want to go, you can't force him out.
Yeah.
And apparently he was going to go. He agreed to a deal in China, worth $1 million a week. And after Asensio got injured, the president pulled the plug on that. And apparently Zidane's been pretty upset about it. Because he was desperate to get him gone. And this was it. The deal was almost done. And the day after he pulled the plug on that deal, the Chinese transfer market closed. Right? So that's a tricky situation. I mean, what do you do with him? You have to play him. You can't pay him $600,000 a week and sit him on the bench every week. You know what I mean? Especially if you're gonna struggle. You gotta bring this guy on. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think is gonna be happening to him?
Man, I don't know.
That's a tricky situation.
If they don't do the transfer, then I don't know. Essentially he'll be a super sub. I think he won't.
But that's the thing. He doesn't even want to
to
sub him. Zidane doesn't even want to sub him in. He wants nothing to do with him. He doesn't want to play him at all. And the thing is, I think Zidane has a dirty ego that's going to come into play here. And I think you're going to see a fight between Zidane and the backroom staff. You know what I mean?
Between Zidane
and the backroom guys, the president, the other guys, the big guys that are back there. I think there's going to be some bumping heads in there because of Zidane's ego and he's demanded certain things to come back, so he wants those certain things, right? So it's fair for him, but I don't think he's going about it the right way. I think he's going about it the complete wrong way. I think he's making himself look bad. I think it can eventually spill into the locker room and make things a little tough, and eventually the big guys in the back have to step in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's a tricky situation.
It is, yeah.
wanting a guy gone, but he doesn't want to leave. You know, and he has every right not to leave. He signed a contract, and he's making $600,000 a week. Who's gonna pay him that besides China? You know, and that was the thing too with Manchester United and Pogba. They wanted to do a swap deal with those guys, right? But Manchester United will have to pay this guy $600,000 a week, and he might not be able to play 60% of the games.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to be not in Bale's situation, but in Madrid's situation. You know, because Bale, he can just sit on his ass and not, excuse my language, sit and play golf and not do anything, but still finish off his contract. You know, so it's tough.
I think that could be, I think that definitely could be the case. I mean, maybe teams want to wait a year and then like see if his transfer fee would go down like the following season.
Or his wage demands. You know?
I mean, it will. I mean, if he's not getting played as very much, and and he goes up another year in age.
Yeah,
so
they might just sell him to China next season.
Probably, yeah. So.
But yeah. Anyways, that's the big things for Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
Atletico Madrid, the other Madrid team, they're looking very good, and that coach seems like he's got all these players. They sold and got rid of what, like 5-6 players. Yeah. They brought in 5, 6, 7 new ones. You know, they got rid of key players. One of their best defender, their best forward, both left.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they seem like they're right back at it again. The usual Atletico Madrid. They lose some players, doesn't mean anything. They bring other ones. That's a story of Atletico Madrid's life, though. Mm-hmm. You know, they lose their stars, they bring in other ones. They bring in other players. And Simeone, you gotta give this guy credit, man. To get this many players and have them all on the same page this early, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this guy can literally coach anywhere in the world that he wants. If he says tomorrow I'm leaving Madrid, Atletico Madrid, every single team in the world is gonna line up and beg him to come. You know, that's the type of coach he is, and I think he is 70 to 80% of the reason why Atletico Madrid is still, you know, the way it's still a strong team, even with losing all those players. You know, so, I don't know. I think they're gonna do very well. I think they're gonna be very strong. That Felix kid that they got looks very good.
He looks really good. Yeah,
he's like 17, 18 years old. He's had one international game. He's had one season of professional soccer, right? Football. Am I wrong? It was one season, right?
Benfica?
Yeah, I think he played one season. I think he came from the youth and went to the, I'm pretty sure it was one season. And for them to invest $100+ million on that kid, shows the faith that they have in this kid. And you know what, man? Watching him play in the preseason, this kid has talent.
Yeah,
for
sure.
He has talent.
Yeah.
He can be a big star. This kid looks like he's proving his worth. Especially in now's market, $100 million for a 17-year-old kid that could be an absolute star. It's not a bad deal.
Yeah, I think he picked the right club too.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
Atletico Madrid. Yeah,
absolutely.
Of all the clubs, I think because it's like
I couldn't agree with you.
It's almost like medium pressure. It's like you're not putting too much pressure on. It's like it's Atletico Madrid.
But you're
it's
getting
possible
brilliant
to win the
experience
league,
and brilliant coach as well with that.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's not as much pressure on you.
Right.
Like
it's like a good between like a Barca Madrid. It's just like it's not
perfect environment. I think for him. I couldn't agree with you more on that. I think that's the best team you can go to. He's had offers from Man United and other clubs that are willing to pay his wages and the transfer fee. But, yeah, I think he picked the perfect place for himself.
Spanish league is good, too.
Yeah, but Atletico Madrid is going to be a threat this season.
Yeah,
they're going to be a threat this season.
Yeah.
And the way they play against Real Madrid, man, it looked like pros versus amateurs.
That game was embarrassing.
That was bad. But those guys all look like they're on the same page. And they're feeling their game. They're in the mood to play. And this is preseason. Can't wait to see them this season.
Yeah.
I mean, if they win the La Liga, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we'll see. That can also go a whole different direction.
It could be, yeah. They could lose the first 5 games.
Yeah.
It's possible.
But they're a really exciting team right now. They look really exciting. I'm really excited for them. I can't wait to see how they play this season. But Atletico Madrid, they lost their biggest star, arguably ever. right? With Griezmann. Can't think of a bigger star that they've had on their team.
I think
Maybe Aguero.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only person I can think of that's as big as.
Would you say Forlan? Diego Forlan?
Oh man,
he was a.
I personally really would because Forlan is the reason why I'm a big Uruguay fan.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
He is someone that I started watching back then, especially during the Copa Americas and the World Cups.
Yeah.
And man, I fell in love with the guy.
Yeah.
You know, I absolutely loved this game, and I just followed everything he did. Mm-hmm. You know, the guy is incredible. So yeah, you could definitely, but name wise, I don't think he's as big as Griezmann, you know, or Aguero.
I think you could say that because, like, at this point, because since Griezmann is a World Cup winner.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so. Yeah.
But Forlan, man, that guy, he was incredible as well. For Atletico.
Yeah.
But Atletico has always had great talent that they kept getting, sold.
Yeah.
But
they
anyways,
always replace them.
I think the biggest name, well, other than Aguero, probably Griezmann. They sold him to to Barcelona. I try to get you excited for a second. They sold him to Barcelona for 100 and almost 20 million.
Uh-huh.
His buyout clause, here's the issue that they're having now. Buyout clause was 220 million, right? About 220. After July, turned into 120, 106, something like that. But Atletico Madrid is taking Barcelona to court and basically is demanding the rest of that fee because they believe Barcelona already had a deal agreed with Griezmann months ago, months prior to the price tag dropping to 100 million. You know, and they're really pursuing this. They're really after the rest of that money, and I think it's pretty pathetic of them. Hey man, it's done. You know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If it was Real Madrid involved, would you say the same?
Well, yeah, I would say the exact same thing because here's the thing: nothing got signed and was done until 2 weeks after July. Right. So it's like the deal got done in July. Yeah, of course. Name me one club that doesn't talk to those teams months before they do the deal. You know? That's just the way it is, man. Go with it. You got 100+ million for a player that didn't want to be there anymore, you know? Which is weird because last season they made this huge deal, this little clip and this move, all this stuff, this movie, this interview, that he was so committed to Atletico.
Yeah.
And the very next season, he's out. He announces he wants to, oh, thank you, club, I'm out. Then goes to Barcelona, where he should have went last season. You know, I think it was a stupid mistake for him to stay. You know, I think he should have went last season. It would have made things a lot easier for Barcelona and for Atletico Madrid. You know, but you know everything happens for a reason. I guess we'll see what happens. But anyways, he made a lot of problems and issues with those two clubs because of that transfer.
Yeah.
But he did, the transfer is finalized. He's a Barcelona player. He's already playing in the preseason. He's enjoying his football there. He seems very happy in training. Seems like this is the right move for him. But yeah, I mean, it's a terrible loss for Atletico, but it's a huge game for Barcelona. Barcelona needs that key third member up top. You know, since Neymar has left, Barcelona have been struggling up there to bring in the third goal scorer, and all their players are dealing with injuries and not being able to be consistent. Dembele is injured most of the season. Coutinho is not living up to, you know, what he was expected, which I think he will now, especially if Neymar does sign to Barcelona. But Griezmann is a great addition to that front three. Suarez, Griezmann, and Messi can do some serious damage, and you can now rest players by sticking in Dembele, sticking in Coutinho. You know, you can play Coutinho, Dembele, and Griezmann and sit out Messi and Suarez. They're both over 31. You know, they're getting older. They can't play every single game. This is way too many games. The Cups, the League, the Champions League, you know, it's too much. And I think now they can actually rest these players without having to worry about, oh man, we're going to lose this game. Because last season they kept resting Messi and they were losing games. And they were forced to bring in Messi. You had to bring him back. You know, and I think now it puts them in a way better situation. And they're still not done buying players. They just bought a left back from Betis. They've bought like what, 3 players now. They sold Malcolm to Zenit. They're trying to sell players to make money for the Neymar move, I believe. I think Messi is demanding it. I think Suarez is demanding it. I think a lot of the players on that team are demanding Neymar comes back to that squad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Neymar wants nothing else but that return to Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
So they're working on that deal. But imagine that. And it's very possible. That deal might get done soon.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So imagine that. You have Dembele, if he's not sold part of the deal of Neymar. Coutinho, if he's not sold part of that deal. You have Griezmann, Messi, Suarez, Neymar. That is ridiculous. What do you do? The only thing I can think of is playing. Imagine this lineup for Barcelona. Imagine Griezmann, Suarez, and Neymar, with Messi right behind them, and Busquets and De Jong playing alongside Messi and a little bit behind him, and then you have Umtiti, Piqué, Jordi Alba, and Semedo. You know, which your left back and right back could use improvements. Hopefully the new player from Betis will help. But right back is a big issue for Barcelona. It's a huge issue for Barcelona. You know, Semedo is just not as good, not that great. And Sergio Roberto has no business being back there. I can't understand how this guy still gets the playing time he does. I can't understand it. I don't understand it. This guy should have... I don't get it. I just don't get it. He's not even that good of a midfielder, let alone a right back. This is ridiculous. You know, every game they're losing or struggle, all the attack comes from that right side of Sergio Roberto. He's weak. He has no defense. He's slow. He's worthless back there. He's worthless back there. Either use him as a sub midfielder or sell his ass. You know? But anyways, I think Barcelona are going to be a real threat, but I do think they really need to get that back line figured out, you know? And Umtiti with his knee problems and other issues, it's a little tricky back there.
Yeah.
And the left back, I mean, Jordi Alba has been great except for those last few games. And, man, those last few games, he cost them that Liverpool game.
Yeah.
And Lenglet is just not as good of a center defender. So Umtiti has to be fit. Piqué has to have a great season like he did last season. The right back has to be Semedo or a better right back, you know. And I'm glad that they have a backup option for left back now, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I think they're going to do great. They're one of the favorites to win the Champions League. So, yeah, Barcelona are on the right track to being a threat in everything this season.
Gotcha.
So.
I think I think as far as for La Liga goes, it's kind of hard to say now for like the Champions League because like I mean Liverpool pretty much kept their squad and they they improved a little bit. I think the only thing that they improved on really was like maybe they like a couple of their injured players are back like Oxen. Yeah. So for Champions League it's gonna be hard to tell. But as far as La Liga, I'm gonna actually throw the gauntlet for Atletico Madrid. I think Atletico Madrid will win the
for La Liga.
League. Yeah, I think so. That's just my personal opinion. I mean,
yeah,
both Barca and Real Madrid made some. You know, I think it'll be interesting to see if Neymar ends up going through. If Neymar ends up going through, maybe Barcelona.
But the thing is, as long as Dembele is fit, Griezmann, Messi, Suarez, Dembele, Coutinho. These guys can handle it up there. I really think Barca can win the treble this season. You know, I think they were really struggling for that Neymar replacement, and I think Griezmann can really be that replacement. You know, Griezmann can really set up plays and score goals. He can really be a big help to Suarez and Messi, and then you can do the rotation because then you have Coutinho and Dembele that can help. You know, and you can use Griezmann as a center forward, as a striker, while you put Coutinho and Dembele alongside of him. And Messi and Suarez, rest them. They're not, they're older now. Suarez is like 32, 33 now. Messi is right up there too. So you got to start giving these guys breaks. And the main problem last season was when these guys would get breaks, they're finished. They can't score goals. So I think this one, Griezmann is a big, big boost in Barcelona. I think they're going to win La Liga, and I think they're going to win the treble. But we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much it with Barcelona. Anything else you think?
No.
That's pretty much it in La Liga. I mean, everyone else is just... I mean, Valencia is going to look good. Betis looks good. Those teams look good. But, man...
Betis, their deal with Fekir from Lyon, that was a really good deal. I was really shocked. I was really shocked.
Yeah, because a lot
that.
of top teams were after that player.
Yeah.
You know? I can't believe he went from Liverpool, Chelsea, and those teams to Betis.
Yeah.
Nothing against Betis, but, you know, like...
Yeah.
Hey,
they're actually decent. Like Betis are like a sort of like a Leicester City.
they're a pretty good team, man, and they have some
yeah.
young talent too, man. They have that young Mexican kid that's very promising, a great player. So I don't know. We'll see what they do as well. I mean, they might make Champions League. You know, we'll see.
Where did they end up?
Was it? I'm not exactly sure where they ended up, but I think they might have even got Europa. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it in La Liga. I mean, I think Barca is going to win. Atletico can win it. I wouldn't be surprised. But I think Barca is Griezmann. Man, after Griezmann and De Jong, I think were huge signings. You know, and I think if the defense can stay fit, I think they can win everything. And their goalkeeper is world class, Ter Stegen. So I think Barcelona can win everything this season. But you never know. It's football. That's why we watch every game.
Yeah.
You know, if you knew who was going to win every game, you probably wouldn't watch. But that's what makes it so exciting because you can never tell. Barcelona were favorites to win Champions League last season. They were winning 3-0 at home. Went to Liverpool, played like absolute turd, and lost 4-0. You know, same exact way they lost to Roma last season. And that's the main reason why I think Valverde should leave. I don't understand why Valverde still has a chance to play when he made 2 huge mistakes back-to-back seasons in huge crucial points, you know, and on top of that, then when they lost against Valencia as well in the Copa del Rey, so it's like Valverde has to be the luckiest coach in football world right now. You know, anyone else I think would have got the boot. So I don't know how he's kept his job. I personally think he should be kicked out, like bad. Like he needs to leave. But anyways, pretty much in La Liga. Nothing else really going on in La Liga. Anything you want to add to there?
No. I think you pretty much got all the points.
All right, Serie A next. In Serie A, Conte taking over Inter means Inter have a chance to play better. I don't think they have a chance of winning the league.
Who?
Inter Milan. Yeah, I think Juventus is done. The league is done. Yeah. Juventus is way too strong. They even got stronger this season with the signings they made. They bought the lead. They have Ramsey. They've improved in defense. They've improved in midfield. Cristiano Ronaldo's on fire over there, scoring goals all the time. And they have Higuain. They have Dybala. They have Mandzukic. I mean, who knows if who's gonna stay on that team? If Higuain and Cristiano don't get along. It's been this way since Madrid. Cristiano does not like Higuain. He demanded he gets sold in Real Madrid. He demanded as soon as he came to Juventus to get rid of him. But here's the problem he faces. Sarri, the new coach of Juventus, is a big fan of Higuain.
Oh,
He's a big fan of Higuain. At Napoli, he was a coach. He was his coach. When he went to Chelsea, he demanded Higuain goes there. He took the Higuain with him.
Oh,
you know?
Right.
And now he called back Higuain to Juventus because he wants him there.
Gotcha.
But the thing is, you got to make Cristiano happy, you know? And Higuain and Cristiano don't get along. So those are something that you have to take into consideration as Sarri. But the league is done. I don't think there's any chance for anyone to beat Juventus in that league.
No.
They have a very good chance of winning the Champions League as well with the signings they made. $75 million for De Ligt, $400,000 a week they're paying Ramsey. Juventus is spending some serious money. Ronaldo's deal, $100 million, was definitely worth it for them because he brought a lot of money and attention to them. You know, social media wise, income, everything. He's helped them a lot, and that's why. And I think that's why they're able to spend a lot more money as well. And Ronaldo is definitely demanding to spend more money. He wants to win the Champions League there.
Yeah.
He wants to stick it to Real Madrid. That's his goal. He wants to stick it to them. You know, he's not happy with the way things turned out there. You know, so he still has something to prove at Juventus, and he is hungry for that Champions League in Juventus. And if he wins it, man, that's Manchester United, Real Madrid, and Juventus.
Yeah.
So good for him. But I think Juventus are tough in the Champions League. The league is done.
The league is done. Yeah.
Conte not gonna do anything. He's not gonna be able to win that league. Yeah. He can bring in Lukaku. He can bring in Lukaku's mom and dad as well. It's not gonna happen. You know, he's not gonna be able to win that league. You know, Juventus has got it wrapped up and done. But they are in Champions League. I mean, they can maybe get a little far in the Champions League, Inter.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see it. I don't think they're good enough. And they haven't made signings that are game changing.
Convincing.
You know, yeah. I mean, I don't see it except for the coach. That it's a good coach, but I don't see him doing anything. You know, AC Milan, we just forgot about them. They're gone out the window. No one even talks about them anymore. I think Italy just gave up on AC Milan. You know, now it's about Napoli, Juventus, Inter more. You know, you can bring in Roma arguably after them, but Roma I don't think stand a chance in the league either. I think it's Juventus's league. Juventus has made the right signings to fight for Champions League, and you know they're contenders in the Champions League. You know, they definitely are. But league is already done.
For sure. Yeah.
But
I mean, Buffon coming back is actually pretty nice. I think that's.
I think he's back to just seal that record, because I think if he plays 10 more records,
10 more games.
10 more games. I mean, yeah, he breaks the record for most playing in the.
Oh, in the league.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
So but man, the thing is, at PSG, he was worthless. You know?
Yeah, that was a weird move. Yeah,
was,
I thought that was a weird move.
He is a big reason why they were knocked out of the Champions League.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean against Manchester United, I couldn't believe it. He was terrible. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like I really didn't understand it too much, but hey, I mean, good for him. He got a little experience. You know, Buffon's a legend. He's an absolute legend, and he might not be the same player anymore, but respect is still there for the guy.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And I hope he achieves everything he wants this season. I mean, even if they win the Champions League, I wouldn't be mad at all because Buffon will get that Champions League before he retires.
Yeah.
And he's a great character in football, great influence. He's a huge guy in this game, you know. But I wish him all the best. But I don't think he'll make any difference whatsoever. You know,
No.
And the other goalkeeper is not that great either.
Szczesny?
You know, I don't think he's that great either. The old Arsenal keeper,
Yeah.
I don't think he's that great either. I think Juventus really need a good keeper. You know, and I think that might come to haunt them in the Champions League. But they have good enough defense and forwards to try to make up for it. So we'll see. It's going to make it interesting. But I mean, in Serie A, I don't see anything else.
Yeah, I think it's the Juventus is pretty much going to own that league. It's kind of more about like what's going to happen for them in the Champions League. So
Yeah, that's
if they're gonna because I mean they got what was it, quarterfinals and they got knocked out.
Yeah, I believe so.
Ajax.
Yeah, by Ajax.
So yeah. So and then I mean Ajax aren't going to be the same anymore. So
for sure. Yeah, that poor team is finished.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's done. Dybala, Higuain, Mandzukic, and those players, their future is still uncertain. With Manchester United interested in Mandzukic and Dybala, and Higuain, Roma apparently is interested.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So.
I mean, they definitely. I don't think they can afford to lose all three of them. I think it'll probably be two. So I think Dybala will stay. I think the other two will go.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good too. Dybala hasn't really proved his worth to me. I thought he was going to be a lot better than he is. And I mean, he sat a lot on the bench as well in Juventus. And this season, there was a lot of talks like, hey, him and Ronaldo are going to be great partners. Him and Ronaldo. I didn't see that happening. And it didn't happen at all. No, you know, I don't think they made a good partnership at all. I think Ronaldo will be Ronaldo and he plays the same game everywhere he goes. You know, I think you just have to adjust.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Dybala moving, it's a very, very big possibility. But you're right. Losing all three of them, what are they going to do for backups or help?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, Inter Milan, I mean, Lukaku being linked to them and Juventus, I don't think he'll make a big difference for either one. You know? So.
I mean, well, I think it would be better for him, like, kind of
Juventus, I think?
No, I think at Inter.
You think
just
so?
Because, like, Juventus, I mean, they're pretty much stacked. I mean, they kind of have what they need.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they have Ronaldo up there. I mean, if Mandzukic is going to go and Higuain, maybe that would be, he would be good. But at this point, Inter need him more than Juventus does. So
that's true.
I think.
But what do you do with Icardi? Before we move on from Serie A, we got to talk about Icardi.
Yeah.
What's his situation? Conte made it clear publicly that he wants nothing to do with the guy. When you make things clear publicly that you don't want this player, things go south.
Yeah.
You know, the player last summer they could have sold him for $100 million. This summer, they'll be lucky if they get 50.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, he backed himself up into a tough position. Because Icardi now is saying he wants to stay. Even though him and his wife were going through all this stuff with Inter a few months ago. Now he's saying he wants to stay. He loves it there. Might be a little too late for him.
Yeah.
Might be a little too late. If Conte can get the replacement, I think Icardi is out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But where he will end up, that's tough to say. Juventus, he might end up at Juventus if they get Lukaku. But it's tough to say where he'll end up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much it in Serie A. Is there anything else you think in Serie A? Yeah, that's it. Juventus is champions before the season starts. Like, just give them the trophy now and just get it over with.
Yeah.
But all right, Bundesliga.
Bundesliga has been my favorite, I think, as far as, besides like the Real Madrid Hazard transfer. I think Bundesliga, Dortmund has been my favorite, like what they've been doing. Like
the young players, man.
They started out fired. Like as soon as the transfer window opened, they got that Schulz guy from was it Stuttgart? I forget who they got him from.
Yeah.
But they got Schulz. He's like the fastest defender clocked in Germany.
Yeah.
And then they've got Hazard's brother, Torsten Hazard, from Bayern Leverkusen. And then they got I think was it Delaney or Brandt? I forget which one they got. They got one of those two guys. One of them they had already. I just can't remember. I keep switching them around, but I think it was. I want to say it was Delaney.
I believe they won the Super Cup or whatever, right?
Yeah, they beat Bayern 2-0. It was pretty convincing.
Yeah, they're looking good. Dortmund's looking good, but as always, man, next summer they're gonna lose a lot of their players. You know, they have some young players that are really promising, and I think they're gonna get sold next summer. But it'll be interesting to see what happens because Bayern is struggling right now. They lost Ribery, they lost Robin. They lost James, they lost Hummels.
Dortmund got Hummels back too.
And they really haven't made too much signings, really. They're really after Sané from Manchester City, and they've even said they're willing to spend over 100 million, but the player has to come out and say he wants to come.
Yeah.
And Sané, I think he's happy at semi-happy at Manchester United, so you really have to make it worth it for him. Or Manchester City, sorry. And you really have to make it worth it for him to leave.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it really happening unless they spend maybe around 150 million and a ton of money on wages on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Bayern Munich is struggling. I don't think Champions League, forget about it. You got to focus on Bundesliga because they might not win Bundesliga this season.
Oh, Bayern?
Bayern, yeah.
Oh, no. No.
They might not win Bundesliga. No. Forget about Champions League. No way.
No.
So I'm really curious to see what Bayern are going to do and who they're going to buy. Transfer window is almost closed.
Yeah.
And they have not made any big signings like that.
Yeah.
They've signed like one or two players, but I don't think any of them are really difference makers that are going to deliver Champions League or guarantee Bundesliga even, and Dortmund's looking good. Dortmund's looking strong.
Really good.
So it's going to be tough. They're going to give them a run for their money this season.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait for Bundesliga. This season will be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I also think for the Sané thing, he got injured today actually in the community show.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, yep. he came off early, and that could be a factor. It's like depending on how long his injury is, it's like, do you want to spend money on a player that just got injured?
They said it's not that serious.
They said it's not that serious?
No, it's not that serious. And even like before they took the penalties and stuff, he was up, like walking around, jogging around, like he was all fine.
Oh, yeah?
I think they just picked up a minor injury and they were like, just get him out now.
Yeah.
But I think he's really young too, so I don't think, too many injuries are going to do anything.
Issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, the thing is, I don't think he necessarily 100% wants to go. And it's like, if I leave, it really has to be worth it. And I think he's asking a lot of money for wages. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what's holding it up. Bayern are saying, we're going to have to spend about 150 million already on your transfer. Mm-hmm. So wages is kind of tough.
The other thing is I think this is Bayern's opportunity to use some of their youth, like that Sanchez guy that they got from I think Benfica, Portugal. Yeah. Like he's supposed to be a promising talent, and then
they got a
Davies,
play from Atletico Madrid as well. I think it might be that Rodriguez.
Rodrigo?
Yeah, they got
Rodri?
Rodri.
No, but that's Man City got him.
Not Rodri. They got a player from Atletico Madrid. I think a right back.
Bayern did?
Yeah. Oh man, who is it? Transfers. Let's go.
Well, like the other guy is what's his name? Bailey or something like that. Bayern Munich. There's a guy.
They got. Man, what is going on here? Oh, I can't think of it, but I'm pretty sure they spent like almost 70 million, I believe, on the Atletico Madrid player. So they're spending some money, but it's like it's not those difference makers. They need goal scorers, and I think Lewandowski's getting older, and it's just getting tougher and tougher for him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I think that's pretty much it in Bundesliga. There's not really much else to say, you know. I think Dortmund is going to give them a run for their money, and Bayern really have to figure things out.
Yeah,
you know?
I think Dortmund will take the league for sure.
They might. They definitely might. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it in Bundesliga. Huh?
Yep.
All right, last but not least, Ligue 1.
Yep, it's definitely least.
And by Ligue 1, I mean PSG.
Yeah,
that's it. By Ligue 1, I mean PSG.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Neymar situation. Neymar situation. I think he's close to making that move to Barcelona. I think PSG are playing really hard ball with Barca, given the fact that it's Barcelona. I think there's a lot of bad blood there, and it's showing. You know, but PSG, I mean, their president is going through a lot of things himself, a lot of corruption charges, a lot of new things that have came out about him. He might not be the president for that much longer of PSG, you know. So I don't know. Things in the next few years. I think things are going to be all over the place with PSG, you know. And I think Neymar is desperate to leave. He wants to return to Barcelona. He's made it known multiple times. Even recently in an interview, he came out and said, when he was asked, what was your favorite football moment? You know what he said? When we played PSG, when I was at Barcelona, we played PSG and we beat him in the Champions League in the comeback. That was his favorite moment in football. This is him saying this while playing for PSG.
I mean, I think that got taken too much out of context because
No, it's absolutely what he meant. And the reason why he said it because he wants to push and move. He's trying to make this team desperate to sell him. He wants to put them into a corner where they have no choice but to sell him. And that way the fees will go down, which they already have. Now they're asking like 170 million instead of the 280, you know? But I think Neymar is doing literally everything possible, not celebrating their cup win, you know? He was just sitting there kind of upset, like didn't want to be there, didn't want to be in the pictures, didn't want to celebrate in the cup thing. Came out in interviews saying he wants to go back home. He told the president he wants to go back home where he should have never left, you know? And it's now saying my favorite football moment is when my favorite team that I want to go back to bend you over, you know, a few seasons back. The team that he's playing with. If that's not sell me now, you know, movement, I don't know what is. You know? But I think he is absolutely desperate to leave this club.
Yeah.
You know, and I think PSG want to get rid of him. They want to sell him, but they want a hefty fee. Yeah. Obviously. And another thing is, Mbappe, I don't think he wants to stay there either.
I think he'll stay one more season, and then he's going to Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think so. I think he wants that Real Madrid move.
Get in there, Mbappe.
I think he's definitely pushing for a Real Madrid move. He's tried to make the move happen, didn't happen, and now he's going to stay put for another season. But I think he would definitely want to go to Madrid. Yeah. You know? And it's going to be tough. Now they're trying to offer him like 600,000-700,000 a week or something to stay. Man City has even come out now, offered him about 800,000 a week to sign for that. You know? So Mbappe's future is very uncertain. Neymar's future is pretty certain. He's leaving. If not this season, maybe in January, but by next summer, this guy is gone. You know? But Mbappe's future doesn't seem certain either. It's uncertain. You know?
I think he knows.
Leave.
Yeah,
he wants to go.
I think he knows like Neymar's situation, so I don't think he wants to bail yet. But
Yeah.
like once he goes, then I think Mbappe will follow.
Yeah, that's going to be tough, given all the problems that I think PSG will be facing for corruption and other things in the background with their president and everything else. And it's going to be tough for them, you know. I still don't know how they've gotten away with financial fair play so far, you know. But, I mean, let's be honest. It's pretty corrupt up there in FIFA. FIFA recently, some other people in FIFA have gotten in trouble. UEFA have gotten in trouble recently for being corrupt. So it's like, obviously, if the head of the household is corrupt, the rest of them are going to be a little weird as well.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean that's a whole different thing. That isn't, you know, but yeah, League One, PSG are going to win it all day again. You know, are they going to win the Champions League? No, I don't think they will. I think Champions League is not meant for this club. You know, they just have too many different issues to deal with and to focus on the Champions League. You know, they have egos, they have personal problems, they have all types of stuff to deal with, and that's going to get in the way of them being a solid squad. You know, they're not a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
They're a well-played group of individuals.
yeah. But, you know, the stuff, you know, whatever else in France, yeah, they're going to win it all probably.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it in League One. Nothing else is expected
There's
from there.
nothing.
Neymar is just big news, which, I mean, they've been offered apparently swap deal with multiple players from Barcelona and some cash, but apparently PSG wants 170-something million at least. So
Yeah, I think what they will do, because it would be crazy to have like Neymar, Coutinho, Suarez, Griezmann, Messi, Dembele all on one team. I think what they're gonna try to do is they're gonna pull for like either Dembele or Coutinho,
I think,
and it has to. I think it has to happen that way.
well, I
Even-
think they prefer Dembele.
yeah,
You know, and I even think giving them Rakitic and Dembele for Neymar would be a good deal for both sides. You know, because they want Dembele. Mbappe has made it known that he'd rather have a striking partner. You know, have a two up front, not three.
Yeah.
So him and Dembele up there would do some damage.
Yeah.
You know, and they're very good friends as well. So that's another plus.
Oh.
They're very good friends. They're very close friends.
Is Dembele French?
French, yeah.
Huh?
World Cup winner. But
Oh, really?
you know, given the fact that they're very good friends, given the fact that Mbappe favors a two striker partnership, given the fact that Barcelona wouldn't mind getting rid of him, you know. And here's another big factor: PSG definitely need a midfielder. Who better than Rakitic? You know, and Rakitic is right there at the top, like of his age and everything. So right now would be a good idea to get rid of him and still have value on him. You know, so I think Rakitic and Dembele would be a good deal for Neymar. You know, but
I would like to see
We'll
that.
see.
I'd like to see if that would happen.
yeah, but I think Neymar has continued to push them into a corner, and I think PSG will have no choice soon. You know,
Yeah.
you can't keep a player that's that toxic in the dressing room. And when I saw him in the cup celebration, he's in the corner, not celebrating at all.
I heard Mbappe pushed him out of a photo.
Pushed him out of. I think he pushed him out of someone else's photo, but it kind of got taken the wrong way.
Okay.
I think someone was laying down posing by the cup or something.
Gotcha.
And but
I
yeah,
think
he
it was
did
out
push
of
him
fun,
out of.
yeah.
He did push him out of the team photo thing.
Yeah.
But Mbappe also came out right after and said, "I want him to stay. I already told him how I feel about him and about the situation. I want him to stay and this and that." But man, if a player, like, there's no other way to show you want to leave than what Neymar has been doing. You know, publicly, behind the scenes, everything. And when you see him, when Di Maria scored the winning goal, he was just sitting there like this. The rest of the guys were like, "Oh," you know,
Yeah.
and he was just like, yeah, like. And when they were celebrating, the whole team's jumping up and down, this and that. You see Neymar in the corner, you know, just standing there like this. He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And he's putting them in a situation where they have no choice but to sell. And it's smart from him. It's disgraceful, but smart.
Yeah.
You know, this is the only way to do it.
What can you do?
But yeah, I think he'll eventually leave, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But PSG, no Champions League, definitely league, and everything else. That's pretty much it. Anything else you think you want to have League One?
No.
There's nothing
PSG
else really. I mean,
winners.
yeah.
Done.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. And all the top leagues, Champions League will be very exciting. When it gets closer to that time, we'll get more into that. But the leagues are all about to start in a week or two. So, yeah, we'll definitely do another show. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else you want to add?
No, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And thank you guys. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.